And he asked me, there's a bit large cast of characters, and he said to me, "Who do you think done it?" And I thought who I thought had done it, and then picked someone else because I'm always wrong. I was right.
There
The
you
person
go.
I thought definitely hadn't done it had done it. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Richard, how are you doing today?
Good.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I'm super excited to talk about this film.
Great pleasure.
I am a huge mystery and thriller fan myself, so when I'm watching films like this, I usually find myself very quickly humbled because apparently I'm not a good detective at all. I'm curious, as you were reading through the script for the first time, were you able to anticipate some of the events that were happening in this film? Of course, without giving away any spoilers, but are you good at anticipating these kind of events?
No, not at all. I'm a terrible reader of scripts. It's always a big shock to me. Uh, I think my son watched a kind of a murder mystery thing on the telly recently. You probably know it if you're a murder mystery fan. It's a murder at the White House or something like that.
I think I've
Do
heard
you
of it.
know that one?
I think I've heard of it, yes.
A bird watching detective at the middle of it. And he asked me, there's a bit large cast of characters, and he said to me, "Who do you think done it?" And I thought who I thought had done it, and then picked someone else because I'm always wrong. I was right.
There
The
you
person
go.
I thought definitely hadn't done it had done it.
What was your first impression of Robert as you were reading through the script with his personality, his character traits? What did you think of him when you first saw this character?
I wasn't surprised that I was cast. Just sort of posh, posh English, bit stuffy. You know,
One one of the first scenes I actually really loved too was the dinner scene right at the beginning because I think we allow everyone's personality to shine through. You see who all these characters are and how they're
yeah,
interacting with one another. I'm
yeah.
curious for you because Robert kind of had this preconceived notion of who Miranda Green was based off her work back in London. What do you think is either like a character trait that he might have overlooked about her or underestimated her that he shortly begins to discover as she starts diving into this mystery at the embassy?
Well, I think the short answer, bearing in mind the period, is that she's female.
Mm.
I think there's a big underestimation going on there. I'm not sure there's more than that. I mean, she's of a certain class. There's no other reason to think that she wouldn't be competent. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether that's conscious or unconscious.
This is such a wonderful ensemble cast of cast members here. What did you either learn from another cast member in this film, or what is an experience that you take away from working with this group of individuals?
It was a pleasure to meet everyone. I'd never met any of the actors before. I'd know something of Mischa Barton's work, but I honestly hadn't encountered any of the others. It was just a pleasure to meet Mido and Kojo and Nell and Raha and Antonio. Uh, yeah, a lovely bunch of people to share time with.
Did you have a favorite scene to film throughout the film? Like I mentioned, I loved the dinner one. Did you have a favorite one that comes to mind?
I like wordless scenes. I like not having to remember lines. Um, yeah, I did something towards the end. I think it was my last scene, actually. I didn't have to say anything. It was all very complicated setup of lights and things like that, but not much was required of me.
And I mean, we're talking about mysteries a bit before, but do you have a favorite mystery story, whether it's a novel, a television program, a film that you've always loved watching or interacting with?
You know what? I don't seek out mystery stuff, but I must have. When I was very young, my parents took me to see Murder on the Orient Express with and Albert Finney,
Yes.
and I've always loved that. Um, just a great story and very contained in the train, and I remember that very well. Also, my brother's also an actor, and the first show that he did was on the stage was an Agatha Christie, uh, and he was the murderer, and he's older than me, and I was very impressed. And it was one of those clever ones where the story makes you think he is the murderer, and then Agatha, the detective, makes you think, goes through all the reasons why he can't be, and then it turns out that he is. Very, very clever.
Playing those mind games on you to make you think you're not that smart, but you really are. You got it.
That's right.
I was actually talking to the director Steven last week, and we were talking about how I don't know if you're familiar with the board game Clue. And something through the house, it's basically a board game where it takes place in this house, and you have to guess throughout the game the who, what they did it with, and which room it was in. And I said,
Oh, yeah, we call that Cluedo, I think.
oh, similar name.
Yeah.
And I was telling him I felt like as I was watching this film, some of those scenes reminded me of how it was set up in this house. Because when we see the ensemble of all the characters set in the living room together, and Miranda's going through some of the motives or the possibilities, and then you go from room to room, it very much reminded me of that. So I liked the
Yeah.
atmosphere that brought into this movie.
Yeah, well, I thought the same thing of the TV series I was talking about. That it's almost as if they design the shows now to feel like you're playing Cluedo. Like,
Yes.
you go from room to room and look at different possible murder weapons. It's like, you're around, the Christmas trees in the corner, you're around the dinner table, everyone's getting, and we're playing Cluedo. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and I think that's why I love mysteries and thrillers so much, because it feels so almost interactive in that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Richard, I have to wrap up here in a sec, but I just want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate taking the time to speak
Pleasure.
about this film, and congratulations.
Thank you.